My name is Jon Baker. I practice architecture in San Diego, and I will be your 2024 NCARB president. I love San Diego. We've lived in all different areas of San Diego, from the North County suburbs to Coronado Island to downtown urban living, and there's nothing I don't like about this city. I was 13 years old and I had to take a mechanical drawing drafting class. Our instructor, after we got done drawing cotter pins and all kinds of mechanical devices, he gave us an assignment to design a 3,000 square foot house and draw a floor plan and an elevation and a site plan. And I never had so much fun in my life. After I finished with high school, I actually got a job as a draftsman for a couple of years, and I worked for a company that built modular homes. Right outside our office door was the factory where they built all the homes. So I drew, I walked the site, I talked to the plumbers, I watched how they built plumbing trees, I watched how they wired, how they framed walls. I went back in and redrew things so that they could build them properly. And I learned a ton of stuff. I ultimately wanted to be an architect, had to decide when I could afford to do that. And so after a couple of years of that, I enrolled in Cal Poly. I didn't grow up with the kind of resources that would allow me to go to college. I was raised by a single mom. If I was going to go to college or school, I had to pay for it myself. The time I spent at Cal Poly, I literally had to work 40 hours a week at a fairly minimum wage job in order to be able to afford it. After about 2 years of that, I just one Sunday night decided I can't do this anymore. Called up the next morning, canceled my classes, got a job, and never went back. My career path is entirely without a college degree other than a few classes. My only option was to be able to work my way through the profession. All the work that we do in this office is public school work and community college work. Every community doesn't have a fire station or a library or an office or a clinic or anything like that, but every community has a school. When we're planning a school, we do a lot of community engagement. We'll structure a community engagement process that might be with small members of the community, teachers, administrative staff, or it might be a very large undertaking with hundreds of people. That process of engaging all those people and taking all those factors in and then planning a school that responds to those needs is probably the most satisfying thing that we do. One of the schools, Logan Memorial Education Center. It's a part of the Logan Heights community. The community was bisected at the time when the Interstate 5 freeway was put in, and it's almost an isolated area that really, to some extent, disenfranchised a part of that community. One of the things that they did, because they're an arts community, is they told the story of their struggle through mural artwork that's on all of the concrete pilasters that hold up the Coronado Bridge from underneath. And so that community is where we built this new school campus. And so our very first community meeting, the community was convinced that the school district was trying to pull a fast one. But over the course of 8 community meetings in the evening, as we took them through this process of thinking about what's mattered to them and listening to them, by the 3rd or 4th meeting, they were ecstatic about what was going to happen. And that school now it's won 3 or 4 major statewide awards. It's an arts community, so we actually created a lot of graphic artwork on the campus in strategic places, and then we identified a lot of other places where the art community can now come in and build benches and do murals and provide ironwork and custom things like that to really put their signature on the campus. We have other projects like the Design 39 campus. They wanted something that didn't look like a school. They wanted something that looked contemporary, modern, sleek because of the nature of their design thinking curriculum. You'll see a lot of the buildings arranged in such a way that staff can be in the middle of the courtyard or by the field areas and see almost everything from those vantage points. And it allows them to operate a school very efficiently and maintain security and safety for kids. In 2005, I was appointed to the California board. And in the course of getting acclimated to regulation, which I had no idea how this is supposed to work and what these people were talking about, a lot of conversations surrounded NCARB. But little by little, I began to understand what NCARB does, what the regulatory environment is, and how it's different from the design environment that I'd always focused on. And I've learned a ton in the process. I've gotten a chance to work and collaborate with architects all across the country from licensing boards that are just like the top of their game every single day. And I've learned so much from it. I've benefited more than NCARB has from this process. At NCARB, I think there's a lot of really important things that we've done in the years I've been involved, and some huge things that are underway today that are important. And there's a lot of future evolution of the organization that I think I'd like to be able to help contribute to. And I think the goal is to try to figure out what's most important to the members and the member board members so that we can stick the landing in a way that is acceptable and satisfactory to everybody in the organization. Every year brings opportunities and challenges that we face. Some years are more difficult than others. This year we face some strategic changes that are huge and very important to this organization and our constituents. Together, collaboratively, I'm very much looking forward to doing this with all of you to help move this organization forward.